Hello all, welcome again. In this lecture, we are going to talk about some more questions on Indian economy and development asked in UPSC prelims examination in the previous year. So let's begin. The question is, there has been given an assertion and a reason. The assertion is, an important policy instrument of economic liberalization is reduction in import duties on capital projects or capital goods. Next, the reason is, reduction in import duties will help the local entrepreneurs to improve technology to face the global markets. So the options will be first, both A and R are true. A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. R is the correct explanation of A. Then second option will be, see the first option, second option will be both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Correct explanation of A. And third option will be A is true, R is false. A is true, R is false. Fourth and the last option will be A is false and R is true. R is true. The correct answer to this question will be option A, that is both A and R are true. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A, because we know that yes, the one of the major feature of new economic policy 1992 was of the economic liberalization. One of the strategy of economic liberalization was reduction in import duties. Reduction in import duties will help the local entrepreneurs to improve technology, because now they can import the advanced technologies, advanced know-how and at cheaper rate, and to face the global market. So this will be the correct answer. Now let's come to the next question. The next question is, Hawala transactions relate to the payments. First option is received. This is not relieved, this is received. Received in rupees against overseas currencies and vice versa without going through the official channel. Then second, relieved for sale or transfer of shares without going through established stock exchanges. Option C is received as commission for services rendered to overseas investors or buyers or sellers in assisting them to get over the red tape or in getting preferential treatment. And option D is made to political parties or to individuals for meeting election expenses. The correct answer to this question will be option A, that is Hawala transactions relate to payments received in rupees against overseas currencies and vice versa without going through official channel. So this will be the correct answer. Let me clarify what do we mean by Hawala. Suppose someone is in US, or suppose someone is in a Gulf country. Suppose Mr. A is in Gulf country. He is earning in Riyal, and we know that we cannot use Riyal in India or in international market. So what will happen, that Mr. A is there, and Mr. B, he has a family and he has to send money to his family. So Mr. A has to send money to his family. So either he has to deposit his money into a bank there, and this bank will transfer in a Indian bank, and in this way this will be an official channel. But in place or in lieu of an official channel, what Mr. A does, Mr. A contacts Mr. B who is a Hawala trader or Hawala agent. Mr. A deposits Riyal, this Riyal with Mr. B, and Mr. B has an agent Mr. C in India, and Mr. B calls Mr. C that he has to pay the same amount but in Indian rupee to the family, and cutting some commissions, subtracting some commission, and Mr. C on behalf of Mr. B will pay the money in Indian rupee to the family of Mr. A, and the Riyal that Mr. B got, he will use this Riyal or this foreign currency to buy either gold or any other goods that do not attract that much taxes or that much any you can say charges, so that he can evade the taxation and official channel. And this way the Hawala works, and this is called this is the Hawala transaction related to the payments received in rupees against overseas currencies and vice versa without going through official channel. Now let's come to the next question, option C. Next question. The next question is, the 8th 5-year plan is different from the earlier ones, and the critical difference lies in the fact that options are, it has considerably a larger outlay vis-a-vis earlier plans. Second option is, it has a major thrust on agriculture and development. Third option is, considerable emphasis is placed on infrastructural development. And fourth option is, industrial licensing that has been abolished. So the correct answer will be to this question will be option C, that is, considerable emphasis is placed on infrastructural development, and this was the reason that why 8th 5-year plan was different from the earlier ones, and the critical difference was the thing that it laid greater emphasis on infrastructural development. We will talk about 5-year plans in one of the next questions in great detail, but until now we have to know just some factual details. Now let's come to the next question. The next question is, in India, rural incomes are generally lower than the urban income. Which of the following reasons account for it? Options are, first, a large number of farmers are illiterate and know little about scientific farming. Second option is, prices of primary products are lower than those of manufacture. Third option is, investment in agriculture has been low vis-a-vis investment in industry. All the three statements given are correct, so the correct answer will be option A, 1, 2, 3. All are correct, because all are the reason for rural income being lower than the urban income, because we know that the farmers are mostly illiterate, they don't have training, they don't know about how to improve their revenue by scientific farming. Second thing is that prices of the primary products, generally in India, prices of the primary products, raw materials are lower than those of the manufacturers, so the farmers don't get adequate income from their primary product. And third, investment in agriculture has been low vis-a-vis investment in industry. This is also correct, so the correct answer will be 1, 2 and 3, all three. Next question. The next question is, there has been given an assertion and a reason. First assertion is, though India's national income has gone up several fold since 1947, but there has been no marked improvement in the per capita income level. And the reason is, sizable proportion of the population of India is still living below the poverty line. And options are, first option is both A and R are true, and R is correct explanation of A. Correct explanation of A. Option second is both A and R are true, but R is not correct explanation of A. But R is not Correct explanation of A. And third option is A is true, R is false. And fourth option is A is false, but R is true. So the correct answer to this question will be option B, that is both A and R are true, but R is not correct explanation of A, because yes, it is correct that though India's national income has gone up several fold since independence, but there has been no marked improvement in the per capita income level of the population. And the reason that has been given is sizable proportion of the population of India is still living below poverty line. It is correct that the sizable proportion of population of India is still living below poverty line. It is nearly 22% of the total population, but it does not correctly explain A. So the answer will be both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A, because the reason for India's national income though going several fold up from the independence, but no marked improvement in per capita income is income gap, income inequality, income inequality, and income gap. Because income inequality has risen in India from since independence. So income gap and income inequality is the reason why though India's national income has gone up several fold, but there has been no marked improvement in per capita income, because in India the distribution of income is not sustainable, not progressive or this thing, because income and the most of the resources are getting concentrated only within a few hands. The next question is, consider the following items imported by India: capital goods, petroleum, pearls and precious stones, chemicals, iron and steel. The correct sequence of decreasing order of these items as per 94-95 figures in the terms of value is. So if we talk about 94-95, then at that time we were importing mostly capital goods, and second petroleum was the second product in terms of rupee value. Third, today petroleum is the biggest product that India imports from the other countries, other part of the world. Then the third were chemicals. Fourth were iron and steel. And fifth was fifth was precious stones, pearls and precious stones. So based on this, the correct answer will be option D, that is 2, 1, 4, 5, 3. This will be the correct answer. Sorry, first is not capital goods, first is petroleum, then capital goods. First petroleum, and second capital goods. Then third, chemicals, iron and steel, pearls and precious stones. So this will be the correct answer. Next question. The next question is, The next question is, consider the following statements. Most international agencies which fund developmental programs in India on intergovernmental bilateral agreements mainly provide. So first option is technical assistance, soft loans which are to be paid back with interest, grants not required to be paid back, food assistance to alleviate poverty. And options are 2 and 4 are correct. 1, 2, 3 are correct. 1, 2 and 4 are correct. 3 and 4 are correct. The correct answer to this question will be 2 and 4 are correct. That is soft loans which are to be paid back with interest. 4, food assistance to alleviate poverty. No one likes to give technical assistance, and no one likes to get